and welcome back to Rue's Life. So I'm a little late to the party, but I really wanted to jump on board with the open collaboration which was started by the fabulous Liz Zorab from By the Farm, and I've seen a few other YouTubers joining in, and it's if I could only grow 10 vegetables, which 10 would I grow? And it's quite a difficult one actually when you really stop to think, if I could only ever grow 10, what would they be? But I've got a list and I'm going to run through it with you and my reasons why. So they're not in any particular order, they're just in the order that they came to me. And number one on my list would be squash. Now I absolutely love growing squash, so it's the joy of growing them. But also they are such a versatile vegetable to grow. What I love about, and I'm talking winter squash now, so you know, my crown prince, yukikiri, the squash that I like to store over the winter months. And that's one of the reasons I like growing them so much, because I'll always eat a couple when they're first harvested, but they last for such a long time. So I tend to store mine in our spare room, so in a nice cool dark place, so we can just dip into those when we need them. And actually this year I had so many left over, we've actually processed those and popped them in the freezer. But they're absolutely great. So, you know, I love using them in soups and stews. They're lovely just roasted, you know, as a vegetable on their own, or, you know, adding in, making a curry. They're such a versatile thing to grow, and I love them. And the fact that, you know, they can last you all from harvesting, I can pretty much be eating them right through till harvesting them the next season. So that's number one on my list, is squash. Number two is leek. I love leek. Again, I think they're really versatile. They're great to add in that lovely leeky oniony flavour into, you know, any cooking that you're doing. Brilliant in something like a pie, you know, chicken and leek pie. Of course, your classic leek and potato soup. So leek definitely would be on my list. And then in the similar bracket would be onions. I love growing onions. They're something that we use an awful lot. I've had great success over the years personally growing them from sets. I never have much success from seeds, but this year I've got somewhere in the region of 200 onions in the ground. Again, through experience, I used to plat them and keep them that way and just go and pick them off as I needed them, but we would always end up losing some. So what I tend to do now is have a few on a plat to use, but the rest I chop and freeze. So again, it's something I use an awful lot of. You know, it's barely a meal that you cook without onions. The flavour, I mean, I know you can buy them cheaply in the supermarket, but personally, homegrown onions just taste so wonderful. So just having a plentiful supply of something that we use so much of. And again, freezing them means that if I grow enough, we've got a plentiful supply all year round. Next on my list is carrots. I, again, love growing them. I generally have some going now, and then I will successionally sow, and I also keep some in the ground but in the polytunnel through the winter months, and I just go and harvest what I need. So again, if I get it right, and I've got it a little bit wrong this year, so we've actually not got any at the moment, but when I get it right, so basically what I did wrong was that through the winter months just gone, I didn't come out and water enough in the polytunnel for various reasons. But when I get it right and I come out and I do keep watering, we've got carrots again pretty much all season round. And again, a really lovely versatile vegetable, you know, as a vegetable, you know, boiled on its own, roasted, in soups, in stews, you can't go wrong with a carrot. And the dogs love them too, they like them as a nice treat. So and the horses and the chickens, so you know, we all benefit from growing homegrown carrots. Next on my list is parsnips. I just couldn't have a Christmas dinner without parsnips, and to have your own homegrown parsnips, just delightful. I love the flavour of them, and again, you know, a nice parsnip soup. So again, I like to pull some fresh on Christmas Day, but equally having them parboiled and frozen, so we've got parsnips all year round. Next on my list is purple sprouting broccoli. Again, wonderful vegetable, packed full of goodness, and once you've got it established, it keeps you going right the way. You know, it's such a long season of picking, isn't it? So, you know, all winter I can be going out and picking little bits of the purple sprouting broccoli. And again, one of the advantages is that nothing is wasted, because the stalks that are left over and any of the greens that don't get used, and again, the greens can be chopped and used and eaten, but anything left over goes to the chickens and they love them. So there's very little left when I've used my purple sprouting broccoli. Next on my list, now I haven't actually grown them before and I've started them this year, but it's cabbage. And the reason I've popped cabbage on my list is I'm hoping I'm going to be successful with it, but again, it's such a versatile vegetable, isn't it? So I love a bit of steamed cabbage with a bit of butter, a bit of cracked black pepper. Oh, delicious. But equally, it's great to add into things, and of course, you know, raw in a lovely coleslaw. So again, it's a really, really versatile vegetable, and any of the greens from around the edge that we don't eat, they go to the chickens. So cabbage are going onto my list, even though it's not something that I've actually grown before, and I've got 2 varieties on the go this year, so fingers crossed. Then next on my list, although I'm not actually growing them this year, is potatoes, because if I'm going to become as self-sufficient as I'd like to be, potatoes are just great. Again, if I'm going to do my leek and potato soup, then I'm going to need my potatoes, and there is something lovely about just coming across and harvesting lovely fresh potatoes. So I'm not growing them this year, but they'll certainly be going back on my list for future years, and they are on my, if I could only grow 10, they're in there. Next we have got beans. All varieties of beans, so I don't know if I'm cheating a little bit here and I need to pick one. If I had to pick just one variety, it would be the Bellotto, because I love it. But beans, the joy of growing beans, I love the way they germinate. I love the space that they take up when we grow them up over arches or teepees. And again, you know, they're so versatile. We can eat them fresh, freeze them, dry them. They're a really versatile thing, and again, really good for bulking out your casseroles and your soups and so on. And then number 10 is Brussels sprouts. Again, for me, a lovely classic for my Christmas dinner, but also for any meal. Again, I find them really versatile. I really love a nice, just blanch them and then into a pan with some bacon lardons, a bit of cracked black pepper, and if you really want to spoil yourself, a little bit of cream mixed in there just before you serve them. Absolutely delightful. And having had such a success with my sprouts last season, they just, you can't beat the taste of any homegrown vegetable. So sprouts are there for number 10. So they are my, if I could only grow 10 vegetables, those are the 10 that they would be. So I've really enjoyed watching other people's videos and also seeing the comments, but do let me know in the comments below if you're a grower and you could only grow 10 vegetables, what would they be? And if you're not a grower and you simply enjoy watching other people growing, if you were to grow 10, or if you could only eat 10 vegetables, pop it in the comments below. So as ever, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.